Okay, just let me announce again. If you have your camera on, shut your camera off unless you're going to participate in tonight's meeting. And also, please mute your line. You should see a microphone. You can hit it for muting because we're getting a lot of background noise. We can't really mute everybody because then the people who need to talk will be muted. So we're getting some feedback now. Check and make sure your phone's muted, guys. Okay, so let me, we're still getting good feedback, but I don't know if you know where that is coming from, Kevin?
Can Dana mute her mic?
Yeah. I'm still picking up some from Val.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what that is. Huh. All right, my phone's off and I'm shutting down. I'm going to shut down my other computer.
That sounds better.
Does it?
Yeah, it's a lot better now.
You want me to, I shut everything down, but do you want me to shut off the other computer, Kevin?
I don't know if you have to shut off the computer, but.
That sound was off from there, so it must have been my phone.
I'm talking fix up in the other mic. So is your mic off?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's get started, you guys. I want to thank everybody for jumping on the webinar tonight. We're really excited about what we're going to talk about, and you know, I'm going to actually, well, let me talk for a few minutes. I'm going to have Val share a little bit because Val is kind of the one that brought this to me. What we're going to be doing, and we're going to give you all the details about it tonight. And she's done it in the industry that she's involved in. I know Kevin's been involved in what we're going to talk about tonight too. But let me just say that one of the biggest challenges in the industry, and we all know this, is picking up the phone and calling people, you know, and being willing to be consistent and persistent in the phone calls that we make off of our list of people. And I guarantee you, all of you people that are on this call tonight, you probably still have a really good list of people, but you haven't picked up the phone to call them. And one of the things that we want to do is we'll go out and we'll email people and we'll text people, or we'll find every way possible to not have to call them because we just don't feel confident. We don't feel like we know what to say and those kinds of things. So, I was on a call today. I did one of my Rhino Renegade calls today, and I talked for a long time about the whole idea of the personalness of calling someone and talking to them on the phone and connecting with them. And, a lot of us go out there and, we hear it all the time with our agents, and some of you have said this, well, I sent out 25 emails and none of my friends are interested. Well, if you send out 25 emails, you have no idea if those 25 people are interested because they didn't get back to you. Did it go to spam? Are they out of town? Are they busy? So one of the things that we know we need to do, and those of you who've read Eric Worre's book, GoPro, we went to a seminar with Eric, and he actually literally, the first time he got into network marketing, he set a goal for 90 days to make 100 phone calls a day for 90 days, 100 calls a day. He started at 7 in the morning, went till midnight every single day, actually for him, 7 days a week. And that 90-day run within 3 years made him $7 million. And he said that the biggest challenge today in the industry is picking up the phone. And so what we've decided to do is we're going to do a phone blitz, right? And we're going to lay out some parameters, what we're going to be doing and those kinds of things. And what that's going to mean is we're going to take a 2-hour period next Tuesday. And again, we'll go through the details, but next Tuesday, we're going to take a 2-hour period and all of us are going to get on the phone for 2 straight hours. We're not going to get off. We're going to call after call after call after call. And so you're going to take your list and we're going to start making those calls, because what that's going to do is, first of all, it's going to get you over the fear. Second of all, it's going to make you all of a sudden learn how to say the things you weren't sure how to say, because you're going to have to learn how to say them as you go. And we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. Each one of us on the call tonight are going to share some of the type of calls we've done, some of the contact messages we use and those kinds of things. And so I'm fired up, and and we're going to do this next week, and then we're going to see how it goes. And there's a point system. We're going to lay it all out for you for the details. But the people that have done this in the past, it's kind of taken people that, because a lot of you on this call are on the webinar tonight, you've never sat down for an hour and made call after call after call to book appointments, or call after call after call to make contacts, to get information out to people. And that's what we have to do to build the business. We're in a recruiting business. Okay, if we don't recruit people, we're not in a product peddler business. We're not out just to get preferred customers. We've got to create a team. And the way the team gets created is you have to find people to share your business with. And the way you find them is you make that point of contact. You pick up the phone and you call them, unless you're in person with them. So what we're going to do is all of us here. And one of the things that we're going to do is if you're a leader, if you're in a local area and you're leaders in that area, then our goal is to get everybody to one house. We're going to be barraging the phone. We're all going to be there calling together for 2 straight hours. And we're going to create some momentum through doing this. And we're going to see the kind of results that we're going to get. And it's going to get some of us over this fear of, what do I say? I don't know how to the right words. I don't know what to say and all those kinds of things, because we're going to have to learn how to do it. But I'm going to have Val take a couple minutes, kind of talk about her experience doing this. She's the one who said, hey, I think this would be a great thing for our team. It'll get people over the fear and stuff. So Val, I'm going to turn it over to you to let you share for a few minutes kind of your vision for, and what your experience has been with this.
Sounds good. Actually, I'm really excited about this, everyone. And the reason is it gets really lonely when you're working in your own office and you're not around the team environment. And I come out of the recruiting industry. I was in it for 30 plus years. And, once a month we were bonused. And in order to make bonus, you had to make your numbers. And so the salespeople would come in with their engagements or the requirements, and it would possibly be 12 openings all at once. So we put together what we called the Gridiron Challenge, and it was a call blitz. And we would all stay one night. And of course, this was in one office, and some of you are going to have the advantage of that. Others of us, I know that Craig is going to set up an environment online that will give us that same feel. But that synergy, that excitement, you could feel the buzzing through the hall. It was so exciting. Everybody on the phone at the same time, and it wasn't you take a call, you take a break. It was pick up the phone, call, hang up, pick up the phone, call, hang up, click, 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 and the excitement started just from the connects, the number of connects you got, all the way to who got the first deal. So it is really a way for us to connect virtually as a group, build some synergy for the team, and get excited about it. And as we're going into Revolution, in my mind, it just with that synergy should help us all bring production to the table for our businesses, and hopefully rank advance and get additional agents would be the optimum goal. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. For us, it worked well. All of us made our bonuses at the end of the month. We do it once a week going into it. And then, just pick up from there. And it just worked very well. Everybody got pumped up and they were very productive. So I'm hoping that it works for all of us that way too, because that means income for our businesses.
Thanks, Val. Awesome. Yeah. And when Val brought this to me, and I've done similar things to this before. I know we used to bring a bunch of team players over, put a speakerphone in the middle of the room, and we'd all take turns making those one-on-one calls to set up appointments and listen to what the other person was saying for training and those kinds of things. So I know how effective we can be. And those of you that jump in and be part of this are going to spend 2 solid hours making phone calls, and you might not have spent 2 hours making phone calls in the last 2 months. But by joining, being part of the team and doing it. And one of the things Val said is what we're going to do is we're going to set up a center right here at our house, and we're going to be live going for the whole 2 hours. We're going to be live here with a big whiteboard, and we're going to be showing points, what you're doing, how many appointments you've made, how many, people, how many no's you got. I mean, whatever it is, we're going to keep track of it so that we can all be competing with one another to see who does the most calls, see who has the most effective, sees who set up the most appointments and stuff, so that we can all be kind of in on that. And we'll just be over here. You can sit at your computer and you can watch us. We'll be using the whiteboard, and I'll be updating you on how people are doing. So it's kind of like it's almost a telethon, like you see on TV when people are calling in. And I mean, Jerry Lewis telethon, like Shorting said, I'll be Jerry Lewis, and we'll do the Jerry Lewis telethon, right? But Kevin, talk a little bit. I know in the insurance business you did this too. So share a little bit about what your experience has been with it.
Yeah, it was crucial in the insurance business. We actually did this on a weekly basis. We had a Monday Night Madness, and then dialing for dollars, and that's what we called it. And it literally, what it does is number one, those people that are not comfortable with the phone, it kind of force feeds you to become comfortable, because you're just doing high repetition in a short amount of time. And those that are comfortable already, they tend to learn about themselves, that how much they can get done in a short amount of time when it's focused, uninterrupted effort. And you know, it's there's there's not a whole lot that can be said more so than, look, I grew an insurance business, and there were only 2 or 3 factors in growing the entire business in this activity: short, high intensity phone calling, not phone calling for 8 or 10 hours a day, but short, uninterrupted dials. You set an appointment, you hang up, make the next dial, and move on to the next one. And personal opinion, and we were never into leaving messages and things like that. You know, and I can explain why if anybody wants to go in more detail with that. But it was a time management thing. You pick up the phone, you call somebody, and you're selling the appointment. And that's key to understand also. You're dialing people, and you're selling nothing more than an appointment to get together with them later. You're not selling product right there on the spot. You're not selling them to be an agent right there on the spot, although if they want to, let them. But you're selling an appointment. You set it, confirm it, hang up, make the next dial. And it's just rapid, high intensity dials. And the results will be astounding. I mean, it's a no fail, you know, process, because you're making the dials. It's one of the biggest challenges we all have, is just pick up the phone and make the dials. And the results that you're going to show yourself by going through this exercise, I guarantee will amaze you. And we'll probably adopt something similar on a regular basis moving forward, if not as a whole group, certainly as smaller groups. But it's unbelievable experience, and we adopted it on a weekly basis. And I'm excited to get into it, because I know it's going to leapfrog a bunch of businesses.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, the other thing is, it's a numbers thing, right? We always talk about numbers. We got to go through numbers. Most of us never take a concerted effort of time and run the numbers as fast as we can, as many as we can. And that's exactly what's going to happen, is you're going to be forced for these 2 hours, because your job is to make as many phone calls as you can possibly make, to set up as many presentations as you can make. If people say, no, I'm not interested, go on to the next one. Don't even waste time. And like Kevin said, Kevin, talk for a second. I know you've muted yourself again, but talk for a second about when you say, I don't need phone messages at all.
It's a time management thing for me. It's just a pure numbers game. I mean, Craig gives me a hard time on how analytical I am, but it literally is, you know, the average voicemail is 30 seconds. So you have to dial, listen to that. The voicemail you tend to leave ranges from 20 to 30 seconds. So that's a full minute of every dial. If you are leaving a message over the course of 30 dials, you've now spent 30 minutes trying to set an appointment with an answer machine, and you're not going to. Mm-hmm. So it literally is a time management thing, that if I get a no answer, I'm hanging up and I'm making the next dial, because we are only successful talking to live bodies. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I don't leave messages.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, and you can drop that number down and pick it up in an hour, or pick it up in 45 minutes and take another shot at it. Yeah, that makes total sense. Good.
Yeah, the number of dials you can cover without leaving messages is, I mean, the numbers are staggering. Mm-hmm. Just make the next call.
Right. And remember, again, this is a numbers thing. That's what we're trying to shoot for, is to get as many calls as we can get in 2 hours off your list. And I know for some of you, you're going to say, well, you know what, I don't have a large list of names. Well, then you're going to need, I know Val's worked list of real estate numbers. You're going to have to do cold contacts. But when you show up, especially if you show up at your upline's house for this event, for this 2 hours, or if you sit down at your table, whatever you got to do, I don't care how many business cards, I don't care if you got to go to restaurants over the next 3 or 4 days and reach in the fish bowl and pull out a handful of cards. You've got to have enough phone numbers to make 2 hours worth of calls. But whatever it takes to get them. So how about you, Michael? Talk a little bit about your excitement about this, what you see. I know you've done cold calls and stuff. Just a little bit of maybe some of your advice on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally fired up to do this with the team. I want to piggyback real quick on what Kevin was saying, because I actually had that written down about not leaving the voicemails. If you've ever used any of the automated machines, they actually allow you. There's services that you can purchase where it'll actually allow you to set it for the phone rings a maximum of 3 times, and that's super, super critical. because if you're sitting down like a 2-hour session like this, you want to have the largest return, and we don't want to be waiting for a phone to ring 15 times if somebody doesn't have a voicemail, right? You're just wasting your time. But this is like it's a different skill set too, and it's something that you just have to hone and you get better and better at. We did this every single week in Amway. It was brilliant, and one of the best things that you guys will see from this type of environment, especially if you're around a super confident person on the phone or the leaders that are here on the video tonight, is that group environments actually allow the timid to break out. They get out of their skin because they're hearing different ways to approach a positive response. Like if you looked at Kevin, myself, Dana, Val, Danielle, and we all just wanted to sell Isaac's Dream and Seacret, we would all do it slightly differently, right? We would all have our own version, something that we gravitate to a little bit that we have. And the benefit for you guys is to get around people like that are that confident. They know how to respond. And it's not just about negative response. It's just how to kind of steer the conversation into a place where you can develop their dream. You can start asking them those questions. It's an amazing concept. So yeah, I'm totally fired up to do this. I know Jamel's looking forward to doing it too. And the thing is, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, right? Whatever we talk about, like I said, we can all talk about it differently, and we all have our own little version. That's the key to this. And then the energy. As soon, Joe Valenzuela does an amazing training on this. I saw him when he did it in Baltimore, and he talks about how he blew Seacret up. And one of the things that he did in the beginning was he realized that there was a slight failure going on, because what happens typically is you'll call a couple people and you'll either get a voicemail or you'll get a not positive response, something that's actually causing your character and your self-esteem to slowly drop off, right? Well, the inverse thing happens, right? You have an amazing call where you're successful and you're like freaking out of your mind, and most people stop. They stop to celebrate. And that's what he always says. Don't ever do that. As soon as that call's over, Kevin said it earlier, whether it's positive or negative, I just wanted to hit on the positive side. Put the phone down, pick it right back up, because now you're in the zone, right? Now you're excited. The excitement is what gets people in business with us. It's not all the facts. It's not knowing everything that's in the thermal moisture mask. It's not knowing every little statistic about how Seacret falls on the DSA list. It's none of that. It's the excitement. It's the vision. It's the dream. It's where you're going. So, I wasn't going to bring this one up, but The Wolf of Wall Street, that was a really popular movie right now. I don't recommend the movie for everybody because there's definitely a lot of negative stuff in it too, but there is an amazing scene in there where it is this call sequence that we're going to do, and you can see all the guys huddled around him while he's making the call, right? That's another thing that's just really dynamic. Val said it in the beginning. Being by yourself in your office at home, you don't have your warriors with you. You don't have people rooting yourself on. When you're in a single environment with a group of people, the energy goes through the roof. And like I said earlier, the timid break out of their shells and start being really powerful on the phone. So that was my input.
Awesome, Michael. Thank you. That's you got me fired up, man. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I remember an Amway doing that, and it's funny because when I got in Seacret back, in fact, 2 days ago was my 2-year anniversary in Seacret. I got in September 15th, 2012, and I put in the first 2 months of the business, I put in 40 personally sponsored, and I remember from the morning until night, I just rang the phone, called person after person after person after person on my list. People were contacting me. I was using some Facebook, but I was constantly in that mode of recruiting. And those 40 are what took the business to Diamond, right? And then now building more to get to Blue Diamond and Red Diamond. But that 40 people took the business to Diamond, but we put them in 2 months because so many of us we never get in the habit or the pattern or the fierceness of call after call after call after call. And until we do that, we never create the momentum we need to create in the business. And, like Michael said, I agree with 1,000%. If you get no's and you're rocking and I got 2 hours of calls, that no means nothing to you. If you make a few calls during the day and you get 3 no's, you made 3 calls, you're devastated. You worry about it for the next 2 days. All of a sudden you start whining, oh my God, nobody's going to get in. If you're blowing up that phone and you're calling person after person, first of all, the numbers are going to work in your favor. And then second of all, the whole idea of you don't have to worry about, you won't even remember the phone call you made an hour ago. You'll never remember the person's name, except you'll have it written down. They'll be crossed off if they're a no. It doesn't matter anymore. So it's creating that kind of momentum. So Danielle, I want you to just share for a couple of minutes. I know, you've been making some great, in fact, you sponsored a giant that's growing the business like crazy from your cold contact. And so you're good at it. So share a little bit about not only are your excitement about what we're going to do, but also talk about what you said on some of the calls when you've made those calls.
Okay, yeah, I'm super psyched and pumped up for this, just like everybody else. And I just want to see people grow. And one of the things I did, you're always looking for common ground with someone or asking them a question. And then like Michael said, you ask a lot of questions at first, and I always say, I don't know if this would be for you or not. I know it's not for everyone, but I'd love to just give you the whole picture. And so can we set up a time to talk? And that's my whole goal. But I'm always looking for something, of value to place back in their life. So, and then I want to just say too, that procrastination really does breed fear. And I've been one of those people. I've been where, put the phone down. But the truth is, when you realize what you have a hold of in this business, you are doing them a disservice if you don't share it, because you don't know who the next person that's going to come in and it's going to change their whole financial future. So in doing this and getting out of your comfort zone, and just as soon as you make that first dial and be yourself, be graceful about it, like with yourself, because I feel like we're so hard and critical. They don't know. You're just making calls, and people are attracted to people who are busy and have things going on. So you always want to say, hey, I'm in a hurry, but I thought about you and I just want to know if we could set up a quick time to talk. I'd love to take questions and then kind of answer some of the questions, because I know a lot of people have the fear of picking up the phone.
Yeah, we can do that. We've got to go through our kind of the plan and how we're going to do it and stuff, and then at the end we'll take questions, and that'd be great. So I'm going to have Dana just share for just a couple of minutes. She's been doing a lot of cold calling, and let me say something too that's important. This is not in place of spa parties. It's not in place of 5-on-5s, right? We're not replacing it with this phone blitz. We're going to do it for 2 hours next week, and we'll tell you which day. And we're all going to jump in and do it together, because we all need to make phone calls. But some of you, it's not going to be a cold call list, because you're going to take your warm call list of your list of names that you haven't even touched yet or haven't even stepped into. Because I promise you, there's a whole bunch of you on this call, on the webinar tonight, that have never really jumped into your list because you've been too afraid to. So it's not going to be really cold calls for some of you. Some of you it will be. Some of you might have to grab a list of something, and I know you do whatever it takes. But for some of you, it's like there's Tony. There's a guy Tony on here that Kelly Carr sponsored, and he and I have been talking the last couple of days. He's got a good list of names. So when he jumps down to do his 2-hour blitz, it's going to be people he already knows, and that's going to be true for a lot of you guys. And so I'm going to have Dana just talk a little bit about some of the calls she's been making lately and some of the responses she's been getting.
Guys hear me? It's echoing. All right, my battery's going dead on my phone anyway, but I have been making so many phone calls. What I have done, I have already contacted my warm market, so I have decided to do a lot of cold calls. And to me, the cold calls have been easier for me. For some reason, it has been so much simpler to get on the phone. I'm looking for people that have been in network marketing or are right now in network marketing. So when I get on the phone, I get on there and I just ask them, and I have been leaving messages though, because we're not on a phone blitz. But most of the time, if they're in their network marketing and you call them and say, I see you're in a certain network, could you please give me a call? They're going to call you back because they think that you are wanting to be their customer or get involved with the business. So that's when I have picked up and been able to talk to people about their business. I've been able to send out a lot of videos, a lot of links. But as far as the Blitz, I'm really excited about this because I was nervous about making phone calls. And as soon as I started making these phone calls, my confidence even got even better. And I think that's just how it's going to be for everybody. It's going to be fun. We're going to have everybody over here at our house. And I mean, it's going to be a great experience for everybody. I think it's going to help everybody really jump out of their shell.
Awesome. Hand me that whiteboard over there for a second. I'll just show you. This is kind of funny. I'm admitting this. This is humility right now. This is Dan and I've been competing. I don't know if you can see this or not, but we've been competing for no's every day. And if you notice, this is just today. You notice it says, Craig, I have 2 no's, Dana. Where is it? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. What do you got? 4? Yeah, she kicked my butt today. She went 4 no's to 2. So I'm admitting that. Yeah, the legend in the industry. 35 years and Dana kicked my butt. So anyway, but why don't we, Kevin, let's put up that sheet now so we can kind of walk through kind of the understanding of how we're going to do this and what we're going to do and that kind of stuff. And so we're going to load this sheet here, and I'm going to read off the one I have. Yeah, I know that's not easy for you guys all to see. This will be posted.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. All right, so you'll have this. You can look at it and read through it, but I'm going to read it off the sheet I've got right here, and it says this. This will be a nationwide team significance activity. It says phone blitz right up here. Okay, Craig and Dana will be on a webcam and updating success as numbers are called or text to them. So you guys will text us in your numbers or call in your numbers on my phone, and then we're going to be posting everything so we keep everybody updated around the country what's going on. There is no back and forth audio on the webcam. It's for visual purpose only, so you can see updates from around the country as everyone is participating in the phone blitz activity. This is a phone activity. Phone, P-H-O-N-E. The only thing your computer is being used for is viewing Craig and Dana and their whiteboard, unless you make calls through your computer or by internet calling. So I'll be able to cheer you on and all that kind of stuff, but it's not going to be interactive. It's just going to be, you can turn on anytime you want and see what's going on and the numbers and how everybody's doing. Activity phone calls for 2 hours nonstop, right? All right, so we're gonna it's set appointments, 3 ways, demos, become comfortable with the phone, discovering what focused, uninterrupted activity can produce, and learn to view a no as a progress. I love that last one. Learn to view a no as just progress. And again, like I said a little bit earlier, and I reiterate this again, when you're making 1 call a day and get a no, you're devastated. If you make 25 or 30 or 40 or 50 calls in 2 hours, it's not gonna. You're gonna get over it. You're gonna be calloused on it, and it's not gonna be a big deal. And most of us on this webinar have never done that in our whole lives. Have never sat down and done that kind of barrage of phone calls. Plan of action: have a call list prepared with names and numbers. So if you come to your upline's house, you're going to have your list of names and numbers with you, right, in a notebook. You're going to bring it with you. All right. Now there's a sheet. There's also a sheet that. Let me finish with this, and then Kevin can show the other sheet that we have. Dial without pause for 2 hours. When you hang up, dial the next number without any delay. Boom, boom, boom. You're selling an appointment only, and Kevin did a good job of saying that, right? All you're going to do is, hey, I go, hey, Kevin, it's Craig Holiday. Hey, Greg, what's going on? Hey, listen, I want to get together with you this week. I want to talk business. What day do you have open? How about tomorrow about 10 o'clock? Yeah, I think I got that open. Great. I'll meet you at Starbucks tomorrow about 10. I'll talk to you then. Bye. Boom. Next guy, right? That's all I'm going to do. If he says, what is it? Say, I'll tell you when I get there. I'll tell you when I get there. Right. And so you give the least amount you can get to book the appointment. And, for some people, and you might get, somebody might say, well, you know what? Hold on. I need a little bit more information. Say, great. I'm going to send you a video. Give me your email. I'll send you a video. And when can you look at it? Can you look at it between now and tomorrow about 3 o'clock? Great. I'll give you a call then. Boom. Get off, write down in your sheet, email, video, and go to the next call. Don't even email the video right then. Don't take the time to do it. Make the next call. You're selling an appointment only. This is not time to talk details or sell product or even sell the opportunity. If someone says, what exactly is this? You don't have the time to say, well, let me explain the comp plan. Well, it's Seacret. Let me tell you the Dead Sea and the 900 key. You don't have time for that, right? If somebody says, well, I need to know a little more information. Okay, how can I get information to you? Give me your email and I'll do it so we can keep moving. Keep track of every dial, answered call, successful appointment set. Have a calendar ready and prepared so you can move quickly. Offer a date, have a day and a time that you can set up the appointments and get on the next call. In locations where it's possible, we recommend that all agents gather together to do this. So all the people here in Arizona are coming to our house. We're all going to sit around here with our phones, and we're going to be crushing it here. Okay. So here's what we've set up. Next Tuesday, we're going to go. It's going to start for Pacific Standard Time. It'll go from 5 to 7, which means that means for Mountain Time it's 6 to 8. It means for Central Time is 7 to 9, and then from East Coast Time will be 8 to 10. Right, 8 to 10. And so that's kind of so it's next Tuesday, which is the September 23rd. Starts at 5 o'clock our time, and all of you that are ahead, you'll know what the time it is for you. And we're gonna run hard for those 2 hours during that time. Let me Kevin, throw up that other sheet just so they can see. Dan has put together a sheet, because what's going to happen, you guys, there's points, right? You're going to get points for making these calls and I'll show you on this sheet here. Maybe why don't you explain it? I'm going to let Dan explain this, because she put the sheet together. This is on a back office that you can download.
I am no pro at Excel, you guys, so don't laugh on what I've done here. But this is a list where you can put everyone's name down that you're going to be calling, their phone number, so you can keep track of all this. If the person says yes, they want more information, do 2 tally marks. You get 2 points for that. If they say no, they're not interested, 1 point. No answer, no, you don't get a point, or you leave a message, no point. Schedule an appointment, you get 3 points, and a 3-way call, you get 4 points. And then if somebody like the next day wants to sign up, then we're going to let you use points on that. So right there are those points, but we're going to total up all those points. We're going to keep track of them. You will be rewarded for the most points. So everybody has to be on an honor system when it comes to this. People that are not with a group or doesn't have somebody to be with a group, just stay on the Fuse or the online, so that you can keep involved with what's going on. But I think this is just something, you don't have to use this sheet. It's just something to get you by with points. I thought it would be easier than just writing everything down, but you're more than welcome to do that. And I've posted both of these. I've posted the Dialing for Dreams in our Facebook page, and this is in the files for the phone Blitz. So you're more than welcome to download that. Use your own if you need to, but it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and we will be, again, we haven't decided the rewards for the top. We're going to take the top people that get the most points, and they're going to be rewarded. It will have to do with Revolution Convention coming up. Rewards, however we're going to work that out. We got to decide as a leadership group how we want to do that. But once we get the total points, we will be taking the top maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people for point getters, and there'll be gifts and rewards coming into convention for you guys, whether it's tickets or whatever it's going to be. So I just want to make you know that, and some of you are competitive enough that you're going to want to be on the top. I know, there's no question about that. So, but anyway, why don't we, Danielle mentioned that people probably have questions. You guys have questions about this. If you want to turn on your camera and ask a question and unmute, you can. If you wanted, you can see the questions on the side, right, Kevin? If somebody asks a question?
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, one came in already. What do you say to people that have said no to you before? How do you approach them?
What would you say, Michael? You're muted, bro. There you go.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in a hotel room. That was pretty frustrating. Hey, actually, this is one of my favorite ones because I mentioned it a while back. We have new products coming out, right? You guys heard kind of like the little secret squirrel leak that, we're going to have all kinds of new products at convention. So when I get that message, I always want to do, are we saying it from the perspective like they're contacting me, Craig, or I'm contacting them back?
I don't know, Kevin. It sounded like the question was.
You've contacted somebody in the past. They've said no. Do you reach out to them again? And if so, what do you say?
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So what I would do is I sell, and will be tied into the way I communicate with most people, which is I sell this thing on a big scale. I'm not selling this one-to-one. I'm not selling it as a hobby. I'm talking to them about big, full picture stuff. So in this example, I would call back, hey, maybe it's Stacy. I'd be like, hey, Stacy, this is Michael Schwarting. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to get back in touch with you. I know we talked a couple months ago, and the timing wasn't necessarily right for you, but things have totally taken off. And quite frankly, right now, our network is growing at such a high rate that I really need some highly qualified leaders. So I don't know if it's worth us talking again. But this market, the local marketplace, is going to be like 1,500 to 2,000 people, in the next 6 months. So I really need good people. So I just wanted to just ring you up one more time and see if things change, because we all know that things change from time to time. But and then I also wanted to let you know that, hey, we had these.
No, I think did you get frozen? Are you still talking? I think you froze out, bro. Oh, there you are. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We can hear you.
So I don't know where I cut off at. Sorry.
That's
But
all
yeah,
right.
no, that's what I sell. I want to get back, and this is something I try to do every 4 months. I want to ring those people back up that told me no,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know what just happened in their last.
Absolutely. It's probably your Wi-Fi, bro, that you have in the hotel room. One of the things I love about what you said, Michael, until you come back here, is that people don't think it's going to work for you, right? I mean, one of the things you get when you show the business to people is they're like, oh yeah, well, we'll see. Nobody makes money in that, blah, blah, blah. You get back to them 2 months later and say, look, we're blowing up around here. I need some leadership. I've got a team growing, and I'd really like you to reconsider working together. And then they can't even believe you're still in 2 months, right? They can't even believe you're still in the business. And all of a sudden it's like, you got people in, you're growing, you're making money. I can't believe it. So just the chance of that point of contact and getting back with them is it's just such a great way to go. So I think on your list, then let's go ahead and, if you bring a list of people you've shown the business or called already, and you can call them back with that. Sorry, Michael, I think your Wi-Fi froze you. Okay. Anybody else? Jamel, I see you on here. You have a question, bro? You need to unmute. There you
Hey
go.
everybody, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My question, because I've been doing the Run on Renegade series with you, Craig.
Uh-huh.
I've been a lot more productive with my schedule. So I guess my question is when you actually doing the Blitz day, how do you with people that work a full-time job, how are we supposed to I guess you could say book all our appointments around everything else that we have to do, so to speak?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you obviously it's being in control of your calendar. And if you're blitzing, you're making these phone calls, and you call me up, and I've got a full-time job working all day, you might need to set me up for a Saturday or Saturday afternoon. So I'm always going to look at some appointment times. I'm gonna try to control the conversation. So if I call you, Jamel, I'm gonna say, hey, would tomorrow at 4 o'clock work? No, it really won't. Okay, you tell me what's your schedule? How long you at work? Well, I'm usually there from 9 to 5, and then I got this. Well, would Saturday about 10 a.m. work? So I'll hit a couple of those things until I can finally fill those spots, and the spots that are already in my calendar, which I know are my business building times and business building spots. And you're gonna, you guys are East Coast time, so your calls are gonna be 8 to 10 on next Tuesday night. So I know it's a little bit later for some of you, but I think that again, working that list. If you're working off a cold list or whatever, then you're gonna hopefully, the thing with business cards, I think most people have cell phones in their business cards now, right? So you're gonna get cell phones hopefully and get people to answer them and stuff. But the biggest thing is just putting those times in your calendar and making sure they work. And if you can't book them this week, book them into the following week. Like, I used
Okay.
to make those calls. I think if you were on the call today, I talked about how I'd take Sunday night and starting at 8 o'clock, I'd book my 5 appointments that week. And if I had to make 10 or 15 calls, that's what I do to book those appointments. So I had 5 one-on-ones set up for the week to do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
Jamel.
All right, no problem.
Craig, Val has something to add about cold calling.
Okay, Val, go. You're muted, girl.
Okay,
No,
go ahead, Val.
Okay, thanks. Hey, I'm just thinking that if I'm new as an agent, I'm wondering where I'm going to get all these phone numbers from that I can make at these off hours. And I just wanted to mention, because I don't know that we emphasize this, but if you stick to some categories, for instance, realtors, insurance brokers, recruiters, other network marketers, Then when you look them up on the internet, they're the type of industry that they want their cell phones out there so people can get together. Get in touch with them easily. So I've just been doing my searches at night and putting together my lists with these people because I get access to their cell phones. Also, if you're calling the realty agent, the agency, if they're not in, those people will give out their cell phones in a heartbeat. So if you call during the day and ask for them, you can get some cell phones that way too. And then Craig, you mentioned the other night, just opening up our cell phone and pounding the numbers that are in there and going down that. So I just wanted to mention, be creative in getting a hold of numbers.
Mm-hmm. You gonna say something, Michael? You're muted, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. I just want to wait for her to be done.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're all going to get to the point in time where we need to get cold contacts, right? But I would say, this is a place of honesty, so I'm just going to speak honestly. Most of you that are on this call, you don't have your downline lists. So if you're going to show up Tuesday, don't have the argument that I don't have enough,
That's such good stuff right now. I hope you come back.
I'm sorry, did I get all froze again?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
froze again.
you're saying
sorry, I was
such
just
good
gonna
stuff. I
say-
go, come back.
The thing that changes when you're in cold contacts is that they don't know you from Adam, and sometimes that could be a good.
He keeps freezing.
Just get your lists from your downline because you want to work in the warm market more than in the cold market. The cold market's fine. You're going to find yourself there, but call your agents and get their lists. You're going to have a much better batting average because your association is, hey, you're a buddy of Kevin Bright's. I'm a buddy of Kevin Bright's. We're in business together. He asked me to call you tonight to let you know this, that, or the other. Okay, it just helps because there is that warm association. I just wanted to mention that.
And let me piggyback on that. Okay, I guarantee you, and this is from being in the industry a long time, all of you on this call have not even made it not all of you, but most of you have not even made a dent in your 100 list, your name list of 100 people. So many of you, there's people that you have right now that you have not called because they're your friends, and they're people that you know, and they're family members, and you just haven't been willing to call them. Every time I sit down with a person, I say, "Let's see your list of names. Did you call that?" Kevin Bright is guilty of this. Okay, I'm gonna lay him out there. I was sitting. We were at he'd been in the business a while back. I was in Wisconsin. I'm sitting at a restaurant on a Sunday afternoon with he and Tara, and I'm sitting down there, and we're talking about his list of names. And I said, "What about this guy? What about this guy?" "Oh no, we haven't called him." "Well, who is he?" "Well, he's got a friend in insurance." And they had so many people on that list that they hadn't picked up the phone and called yet because they didn't want to feel like they were chasing them or used. I said, "Are you kidding me right now?" And his business, when he broke when he went 90 days and broke 3 ranks, it's because he picked up that list and finally started calling those people. So I don't think that many of you are going to have to come with and use all cold lists because you have a good list. And between now and next Tuesday, you need to take next to your bed, keep a memo book, and you every time you throughout the night give your mind an assignment. I need another name, and you'll fill that thing up. And by next Tuesday, you'll have a list of what's warm market and people because we all know 1,000 people on a first name basis, but we just eliminate them, right? We prejudge them. We don't turn the card over. We try to tell you what the card's going to be. So I promise you. But Michael's point is awesome. If you got a brand new agent, and let's say they can't be on this call, they can't do the blitz, get their list of names, right? And that's, you can start running up with that too. Just don't come there without your ammunition you need to get done what needs to be get done. Anybody else have a comment about that? All right, any other questions, Kevin?
Yeah, there was someone just asking that that specific day and time, they're working or there is a conflict. They're just asking, do we think we're ever going to do this again? Different day, different time.
My goal, and we've been talking about it as leaders, my goal would be to do it every week between now and conference, every single week. Do a 2 hour. And if we, I think a good time for probably would be a Sunday. Sunday afternoon, late afternoon would be a good time. Sunday evening might be a good time because that nobody's working on Sunday for the most part. But we just grabbed whatever day we could right now. So, but if you can't participate this come on the 23rd from 5 to 7 or whatever your time period is, get your list to your upline that can do it and get some of those names to them so that they can make some of those calls for you along with yours. But yes, I mean, that's our goal. I want to see how this goes and see how the competition goes and see what comes from this. And I expect amazing things because you look at, we've got like almost 100 people on this call, right? And if all of us go to the phones next Tuesday for 2 solid hours, ringing it up, how much more progress are we going to see than we've seen in the last 6 months when everybody's been doing whatever you're doing, right? Calling a few every now and then. I mean, it'll be insane. And if we do it again the following week and again the following week, right? So, with that, you also got to remember that you start adding names, start meeting people, start making sure you're adding names. Because if we do it every week for the next 8 weeks, you're going to need a good list of names. So you got to keep adding those names there and stuff. So,
and Craig, on that note, this whole warm call, cold call, medium call, blah blah blah, whatever. Half the time cold calls is a mindset. We make them cold calls, and so that for some reason we then fear them. If you do have to find some names, I agree with you. Most people probably haven't even gone through their own phone, but if you do have to gather some names, put some thought into what common ground do you have? What's your background? And I'll just use myself as an example. Well, I have a list of insurance agents. I don't know them from anybody, but we have a common ground. They're immediately warm. I can talk to them. I've never met them, but we now can speak a common language because I spent 12 years in that industry. Find out, think about yourself and what is it that you can relate to, what demographic, what career, whatever the case is, and then go and find names and numbers within that segment. And I don't even consider those cold calls. And frankly, I saw Shorting earlier pick up a bag of business cards and show it to everybody. I'll tell you what, I'm a business card freak. And one of the first things I say when I call them is, hey, dude, I saw your card on such and such billboard. I'm self-employed myself. I'm as self-employed as you are. I immediately put us on the same level. And I've never met that person before, but now we've got a connection. We're both self-employed. And so if people just kind of look around, the names and numbers are everywhere, but absolutely you have to come to this thing with at least 100 on a list ready to just start pounding the phones. But don't make names and numbers so difficult, and we overthink that.
Okay. Give Krista a hug. Hurry. Bye, Thea.
Bye.
Bye, baby. Let's see where things are coming over.
I like your flow hose.
I love them.
Costco?
Yep. Just don't run in them. They break.
I have some. My mom, Isabella.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get yours?
Costco.
Oh, my mom got them for me. I wear them all the time. I can't hear anybody.
I dropped it.
You did. Oh, whoops. Sorry, guys.
Hey, Craig, you're muted right now.
okay, yeah, I am. That's right. Okay, Kevin, you see any more questions? Anybody else want to come on, fire the camera up and ask a question, or anybody have any more questions or comments about what we're doing?
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Donald Trump talks about it. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it. Eric Worre talks about it. Anybody that's in business, Kevin's point is right on. If you have that common ground, it's great. But if you just present a phone conversation to somebody that, hey, I'm a business professional and I'm networking with you because you're a business professional, if that's weird to you, it's just because you're not involved in business. Because this happens every single day. This is how billion-dollar corporations get developed, because it's associations. And if you're on the phone with that, and it doesn't matter if it's for them or not, it's very, very simple. If you start with that line, and I encourage you to do that. Hey, I'm growing a major network in this area, and you own a dry cleaning service. We do international business. What I'm trying to find is, 3 or 4 key people in this area that possibly have connections internationally. Just keep it business and keep it without stress, and you're going to have a wonderful result. It's very simple. It's not as weird to the other person on the phone as it is to most people when they're doing it for the first couple times.
Contact their upline or their upline contact
I'd like
office.
to say something real
Get
quick.
coordinate.
Go ahead, Dan.
Danielle's got something.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a shout out to my new agents, Mike and Dina Gray, because they are really blowing this business up. And when I got a hold of them on Facebook, it was cold. It was completely cold. I looked at people in other network businesses and sent her a message and said, "Hey, can we get on the phone? I have a quick question." And one of the things, her work ethic, and both of them, but every time I call or we try to connect, she's in an appointment or I'm in an appointment. And when you work your business from appointment to appointment, there's no way you can fail because you're trying to get the person enough information so they can make a good, solid decision. But that's why they're blowing this up, because they are working their business. They took every distraction, moved it to the side, got laser focused, put the blinders on, saw what we had and understood what we had and just went for it. So it is really just about making those phone calls, getting out of your comfort zone. And that's exactly what I did. I just said, "Hey, could you give me a call? I have a quick question. I found something I wanted to ask her about anyway. And if it worked out, great. And if it didn't, that's fine too. Next." You just keep on moving. So, but I do want to give them a shout out because they are rocking this business, breaking company records right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody have a comment?
A lot of good comments. People are excited. There's a couple people asking like script ideas, and tell you what, you had brought up Eric Rory before, and if people are really looking for script ideas, that networkmarketingpro.com.
Hey, Kevin.
It's good stuff. Jamel?
Yeah, when you're blitzing like we're going to do, it's I think a script thing to try to get a rapport and build and get some conversation going. And I'm not saying we don't need scripts, but I think to just try to book that appointment and be as quickly as you can. And one of the things I always said, and I still do when I call someone, is, "Hey, look, I only got a minute or so. I'm in a hurry. I've got some business stuff I'm doing. Is there a chance we can get together this week? Which day works good for you? I want to spend about an hour with you." But you're always in a hurry. And that way, if they start asking questions, I always come back with, "You know what? I'd love to answer that, but I really got to get on the phone with someone else. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday at 4:00. So, it's always a way out if you're always in a hurry, and you let them know right off the call, "Hey, you know what, Kevin, this is Craig. Listen, I've just got a couple minutes, bro. I've got another call I got to make, but I want to connect with you about getting together this week. Do you have a day that would be available? I could spend an hour with you. I've got some business things. I'd love to get your feedback. I'd love to run them by you, and we could talk a little bit. Does Wednesday work for you?" And if Kevin says, "Yeah, great," say, "Great, I'll see you Wednesday." And if he asks any more questions, just say, "Hey, I got to run. I got to jump on a conference call." And then you're quick, and then you just keep moving through it like that. I think Dana brings up a good point. Everybody that's on here now needs to contact your upline and let them know you're in, you're rolling, you're ready to go. If your downline is not on here, okay, we'll post this on the site so that people can watch it. People that didn't make the call tonight or couldn't make the webinar tonight. But it's important, if you are on here, get a hold of your upline, whoever you're working with, and tell them, "Look, I'm in," right? And that way, if it's in Decatur where Daniela is, she's going to work together with Erica and those people. Come together that day. 5:00, we're coming together. We're all going to meet together. Same thing with Michael's team, Kevin's team, our team here in Arizona. Val's got. And so make sure you don't wait for them to call you. You call them so you can get connected with them, so that we can get everything moving towards next Tuesday. And then we'll be on at 5:00 live like this, and we'll get rocking and rolling. So any questions during the week, you guys can post on the Facebook site. We've got the flyer that we put together. We've got the fill out sheet, so you know how many points you get for each thing. We'll see who steps up and gets the most points, and we'll move from there. So,
Craig, I have a question. This is Kim Barrow. I just have a quick question.
Oh, hi, Kim.
I'm a lonely person here in Nashville, so I don't have anybody to meet. So are you going to be doing something for us? Like, are we going to have a way that people that are alone have a way of doing something like what we're doing now?
Well, I think, I mean, Danielle's probably the person to talk to about that because she's going to be having her team together and you're part of that. So obviously, I think whether you do speakerphone in, whether you do you need a three-way, she can bring you into that thing through like foods, FaceTime or something. So definitely, I see her being able to Skype you in. So you're there with everybody, but you're not, but you are. So I think that's a great idea, Kim.
Right on.
That's an awesome idea. Yeah, and that's something for us all to think about. I know, Kevin, you got people over in Nashville or in that area too. So to let them come in by way of Skype or something so that they're constantly a part of it would be great for all of us. And you too, for all of us. Great point, Kim. Anybody else have any comments? You can unmute and ask the question. Yvonne wants to know if she can come over. You see that, Michael?
Tell her to come on to Arizona.
Hey, Mike, did you see Yvonne's message? She wants to know if she can come over.
No, Krista is asking Yvonne if Krista can go to Yvonne's
Yeah, it's
house.
actually Krista asking if she can. Krista's in California asking if she can come to Yvonne's
house. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I messed it up.
Absolutely, Krista.
So I'm sure your upline, your leaders here, Val, Kevin, Michael, Danielle, are going to be getting a hold of you, and you guys need to get a hold of them so you can coordinate this, get it organized, and they can help you with any questions you have too. So
people are stoked. I'm already getting text messages saying, I'm in.
Good. Awesome.
Hey guys, this is Alicia. I have one quick comment before we end.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay? I was just going to say something that I've been doing recently. If you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and you're reaching out to people that you look up to or that you idolize, I've been ranking people by being able to legitimately give them a compliment, something that I can connect with and kind of break the ice by giving them a compliment. People, even if you haven't talked to them ever, just saying, I admire your business or your what you do for a living, or break even, give them a common ground for that, and also giving them something as a compliment, because people will automatically, they can't be mean to you or as mean to you if you give them some sort of compliment. People are not that cruel. So I've found the best feedback, even if people aren't interested and they legitimately will not sit down with you no matter what, you can give them a compliment and they'll think about it. And if you do contact them in another 60, 90 days, they're going to be thinking about that comment over and over again. So I have had the best luck with giving compliments, and
awesome.
I don't know. It's something that's really worked for me recently. And if you're going to be stepping outside of your comfort zone, you should be able to legitimately think of a compliment to give that person.
Awesome. That's awesome. Excellent. Hey, Carol Daniels made a comment, and I should have covered this. She said, if I work till 8, can I do a 2-hour time spot after that? Absolutely. We have from 5 till 10 at night if you take East Coast and West Coast, right? Okay. Huh? No, but I'm saying anytime between 5 and 10, they can use that 2-hour period to blast the phones. So in other words, if you're Pacific Coast time and you don't get off work till 7 o'clock, then jump on and go 7 to 9. Right. So you don't have, in other words, if you can't hit your 5 to 7 spot in Pacific Coast time, don't say, oh, I can't do it that night. Jump on and get your 2-hour period in there so that you can get the points. We'll be going till 10, and we've got to be on because we're keeping track of everything. So we'll be going till 10 at night. Right. And so that way, don't bow out because you can't do the exact time spot that you're supposed to do in your region. That's what we're saying. Thank you for that, Carol.
Don't focus on the time slot being the important aspect of this. The activity, the dials are the important aspect.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So any other comments? Anybody have any? I want to make sure, at least while we're on now, we can get all your questions answered to the best of our ability, and then we can post stuff on Facebook and stuff. But anybody on here have any more comments? Kevin, Val?
No, just a lot of positive comments coming through, but I don't see any questions.
Okay. And this will be it's going to be exciting. This will be our first week, and we'll see how we go. And I bet you it's great. And then I know you're going to have so much success, and you're going to see so much activity happen that you haven't had for a lot of you for a long time, that you're going to want to, let's go one more week. I'm ready. Because you're going to get, it's like once the kickoff starts, you know, all the butterflies, they're all flying in formation. Now you just go to work. Now you're on the field and getting it done. And so that's, you know, that's what we've got to look forward to. So anyway, if there's no more, Val, you got something? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you unmute me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Can we have a webinar the next night? Are we going to have the normal webinar? And can we invite our prospects that we connect with on Tuesday to that webinar?
Great point. I think that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Yeah. Kevin, I think that'd be awesome, huh?
So we can do a BizOp webinar, and I mean, whatever, half hour training.
Yeah, yeah, or you know, BizOp, and then a half hour of why this industry, why Seacret, why now? Also, kind of put that whole package together to help solidify that for the people that get people interested. Okay, anything else? All right, I guess we're done for the night. So thank you, everybody. Go to the Facebook or go to our Facebook site, download your point thing, download your flyer, get the flyer out to your people, email it to them or whatever, so they can see exactly what we're doing. And let's get rolling. And we'll look forward to tuning up next Tuesday night, 5 o'clock. We'll be on the screen on Foos, and we'll be rolling. So look forward to it. Any questions? Let me know. All right. See you, everybody. Thank you.